By the time his voice filled stadiums again, Buju Banton had already lived several lifetimes. His legacy is a contradiction that refuses to be simplified. A cultural giant who gave Jamaica anthems of fire and faith, and a flawed man whose past words and choices cast long shadows. Crowds now lift their hands when he sings of redemption, but the road to that stage was paved with controversy, prison walls, and the slow, stubborn work of change. He was born Mark Anthony Myrie on July 15, 1973, into the raw edges of Western Kingston. Salt Lane did not offer soft landings. It offered dust, noise, hunger, and the music that leaked from battered radios in the yard. His mother, a higgler at Coronation Market, rose before dawn to sell produce, her hands rough from labor, her love steady even when money wasn't. His father dreamed of singing but carried tiles instead, working the factory floor to keep food on the table. Among 15 siblings, Buju learned early how to be loud enough to be heard. His mother called him Buju, a nickname for breadfruit, because he was thick and sturdy as a toddler, already built to endure weight. The boy from Salt Lane grew up carrying more than poverty. His family spoke of maroon blood, of ancestors who had escaped the plantation and built freedom in Jamaica's hills. In later years, he would also claim Igbo roots in Nigeria, widening the circle of belonging he carried in his chest. Music gave him a name before the world did. He borrowed Banton in homage to Buju Banton, admiring the roughness in his delivery, the way a voice could punch through noise and command space. Fame did not knock politely. It kicked the door down. In 1992, Buju flooded Jamaica with hits, his voice everywhere at once, blunt, urgent, impossible to ignore. Albums like Stamina Daddy and Mr. Mention made him a phenomenon, and suddenly the boy from Salt Lane was breaking records once held by Bob Marley. The success was dizzying. The streets that had taught him hunger now taught him excess, and in that same season of triumph, the seeds of controversy were planted, most notoriously through lyrics that called for violence against gay men. The song followed him for decades, like a stain he could not scrub out. Then, the violence of the streets reached back for him. Friends were murdered. The bravado that once fueled his dancehall persona curdled into grief. Buju turned toward Rastafari, trading raw provocation for spiritual searching. The music slowed, deepened, learned to breathe. Albums like Till Shiloh and Inna Heights sounded like a man talking to his own soul, still fierce, but now asking questions instead of just throwing punches. The audience grew with him. So did the expectations that he would live up to the messages he sang. His private life stayed crowded. Love came and went. Children filled his world, 17 of them, scattered across different chapters of his life. There was pride in watching some follow music into the spotlight, and heartbreak when one son, Miles, died in the United States in 2024. Fatherhood did not soften his life into simplicity, it complicated it, pulling him in 100 directions at once. The lowest chapter came in the United States, where a drug trafficking case led to a 10-year sentence in federal prison. Prison stripped him of stages and spotlights, but it did not quiet his mind. He studied. He read political science and economics. He earned a master's degree in music business management while locked away. The system tried to shrink him into a number. He answered by expanding his inner world. When he walked free in 2018 and returned to Jamaica, the island welcomed him like a prodigal son. Cheers laced with skepticism, celebration shadowed by memory. On stage again, Buju performed as if each note were a step back into the light. Tours sold out. New albums found their audience. He aligned with Rock Nation, partnering with Island Records for his modern releases. The money returned too. Packed arenas, premium suites, whispers of private jets and luxury homes in Jamaica and Florida. But more than wealth, there was the theater of redemption. A man once barred from stages, now standing under spotlights again, singing about overcomers and survival. The past, however, never fully loosened its grip. Activists and organizations like GLAAD and Stop Murder Music had spent years protesting his lyrics. In 2019, Buju publicly removed Boom Bye Bye from his catalog, pledging never to perform it again. The gesture did not erase history, but it marked a line he chose to draw. Change in his story is not a clean break. It is a long negotiation with who you were. Today, Buju Banton stands as a living paradox. He is the man who once shouted violence into a microphone, and the same man who now preaches tolerance and spiritual grounding. He is the child of a market vendor who grew into a global star, the inmate who returned to sold-out arenas, the father counting losses even as crowds count hits. His legacy is not a polished monument. It is a scarred road, loud with music, heavy with mistakes, and lit, at last, by the stubborn possibility of growth.